All right, this chapter introduces David, one of the most important figures in the Bible. While Saul is still king, God tells Samuel to anoint someone new, a young unknown shepherd from Bethlehem. It's a powerful reminder that God looks at the heart, not appearance. So the first part of the chapter covers God sends Samuel to anoint a new king. God tells Samuel to stop mourning for Saul. It's time to move forward. Stop crying, man. He sends Samuel to Bethlehem to visit Jesse because one of his sons is God's chosen king, okay? So Samuel fears Saul's reaction, so God tells him to bring a sacrifice as a cover story. This shows Saul's growing instability. Even Samuel fears him now. Second part of the chapter talks about God chooses David, not the obvious choice, okay? As usual. So Samuel meets Jesse's sons. He sees Eliab, the oldest, and thinks, surely this is the one. But God says, do not consider his appearance or height. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So Jesse presents 7 sons, but God rejects all of them. Samuel asks, are these all your sons? Jesse says there is one more, the youngest David, who is out tending sheep. When David arrives, God says, anoint him, this is the one. Samuel anoints David, and the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David from that day forward. The third part of the chapter covers the God's Spirit leaves Saul. After David is anointed, God's Spirit departs from Saul. In its place, a tormenting spirit comes, allowed by God, which causes fear, depression, and instability. This marks a spiritual shift. David is now empowered. Saul begins to unravel. So the fourth part of the chapter talks about David enters Saul's service. Saul's servants suggest finding someone who can play music to calm him. They recommend David, who is described as a skilled musician, brave, wise, handsome, and the Lord is with him. Okay, David's brought to the place to play for Saul. Saul loves him, and David becomes one of his armor bearers. When David plays the lyre, the tormenting spirit leaves Saul, and ironically, Saul unknowingly brings his future replacement into his own court. What are the key lessons from this chapter? The first lesson is God values the heart over appearance. David was the youngest and least likely, but God chose him. Second lesson, spiritual power can shift. The Spirit of the Lord moved from Saul to David. God raises up and removes. Third lesson, God uses gifts to open doors. David's musical talent brought him into the king's palace. God uses natural skills for spiritual purposes. Fourth lesson, David's anointing happened before his rise. He's chosen as a king, but he won't reign for years. Preparation comes before position, okay? So the first Samuel, chapter 16, introduces David, chosen not for his strength or his status, but for his heart. While Saul declines spiritually, David rises quietly and faithfully. He's anointed in secret, plays music in the palace, and starts his long journey toward becoming Israel's greatest king. Okay, if you enjoyed this chapter, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and see you in the next one.